Hi, we're Van Trekking Lifestyle, and this week's episode we go searching for epic. The thing about epic, you never find it unless you look for it. That doesn't mean it's not there. In fact, many times it's right in your backyard, or in this case, it's in a spot just 1 hour and 15 minutes away from our driveway, Grayson Highlands State Park in Virginia. Like many of you, we're staying close to home this summer, but that doesn't mean we don't want to seek out things that we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. Come along with us as we ride up the mountain to one of the highest peaks on the East Coast. Originally meant to represent a long poem about a hero, the word epic now seems to mean to most of us, well, something that takes our breath away. For us, that something this time was Grayson Highlands State Park, the views of Mount Rogers, and the temperatures that were in the upper 60s when at home they were in the upper 80s. Who could ask for more? This trip a little ways away from home was what we would define as a long day trip. We did spend the night, but we left early in the morning so we could arrive when the park opened so that we could make the most of this day that we had ahead of us. We're honored that you're with us as we try to do that. We hope we inspire you to get off your couch and to look for epic things in your backyard. Now let's see what we can find.
So we got to our campsite maybe 30 minutes before we could check in, and the people that are there, they're really nice, but they're having issues with one of their tires. So we found a little place to park and go for a little hike, which is why we came here to begin with. This place, well, it's only an hour away from our home, which is really cool. I bet if you look, you can find things similar to this really close to where home is for you too. Our first hike at Grayson Highlands, the Twin Pinnacles Trail. You wouldn't believe it's in the 60s here. It is awesome.
So, have you ever seen a tree hug a rock before?
Not every parking lot leads to a trail that takes you out to a pinnacle like this, where you can see into Virginia and into our home state of North Carolina. All within an hour of our home. Find something like this near your home, and don't let COVID-19 keep you from enjoying nature. I think we found epic, sweetheart.
You do?
I think we did.
I think we did too.
I think we found. Just like that, we're back in a forest. Mountain laurel, little juniper trees.
nothing like a walk in the woods to soothe your soul.
I totally agree. I had just gotten finished telling Lynn, thanks for teaching me to love this the way I love it now. She loved it long before I did, but I may love it more now. I doubt that.
So did that get your heart rate up?
Yeah, it did.
That was a pretty steep climb.
This is why they call it Big Pinnacle.
Yeah. Well, let's go see what Big Pinnacle looks like.
A really steep hike up here, but man, the payoff. Just look at the payoff once we made it up. Hey honey, you sweating?
I'm sweating like a hooker in church on Sunday morning. Yay, we're back on the trail.
Well, we started out trying to kill 30 minutes so we could go back and get to our site. What, 2 hours later?
It's okay.
What a great hike.
It was.
We're a little worn out now. It's going to feel good to get back and get some lunch and to get checked into our site and just relax for a while. But
maybe another hike later on today.
Epic, you think?
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful walk in the woods and then being able to look out over Virginia and North Carolina. It was pretty awesome.
Pretty cool. Wow. Okay, let's get back to the van. Okay, that's a good site there. Making it back to the van. I gotta tell you, making it back to the van is a lot better than making it back to your car or motorcycle. Because we have a bathroom, we have cold drinks in a refrigerator, and we have lunch. So making it back to the van, that rocks. I'm happy about that. That didn't take long at all. Maybe 15 seconds to connect the electricity. Maggie's already asleep taking a nap. We're getting lunch ready. Less than 2 minutes after landing here at this spot. Beautiful, beautiful place. It's going to be really quiet as over this direction. It goes right off the side of the mountain. Right now they're cleaning the park and I had to stop and tell the workers it is the cleanest state park I think we've ever been in. Well manicured and just perfect. Well worth the money we spent to stay here. Wish we were staying for a month. We pre-cooked the chicken. There's a chicken that we cooked last night. That was a lot of chicken to cook. We have pasta salad for lunch, and we have deviled eggs. I need to tell you a story my grandfather told me about deviled eggs. My grandfather was a card. I'm not sure how he meant this. I take it one way, but he probably meant it another way. He said if I could find me a woman that would get naked and make me deviled eggs, that I needed to hang on to her. Well, of course, Lynn does both of those things, but not at the same time. So I don't know if that counts, Papa, or not, but I think it does. I think that might have been what you meant by that. But with you, I never knew. Deviled eggs. Man. Thanks for lunch.
You're welcome.
Awesome, wasn't it? We have chicken and Maggie's so tired she's staying under the picnic. Wait a minute, she heard me say chicken. We got chicken, Daddy.
So we made most of this at home last night. So
All you did was cut it up today, right?
Yeah, I made the pasta salad last night. Deviled eggs yesterday.
I mean, we literally pulled in here and within 5 minutes we're eating lunch, weren't we? And that includes setting up and getting ready. Luckily, doesn't look like it would be, but it's an extremely level site, so that's really cool. We didn't have to do anything with that.
What you doing, sweetheart?
A couple years ago, Gina, our oldest daughter, got us this hammock for Christmas, and we haven't used it yet. So, today we're going to.
We're going to try to use it.
Try to, you're right.
If you don't break the door. Put it on the van. The reason why we don't use it because sometimes it's hard for us to find a place to do it.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
This is awesome. You gonna try it?
Yeah.
You need to try it. It's
no,
awesome.
I'll try it. I'll try it when you get done. You relax a little bit. Take you a nap.
I won't argue with that.
All right. Good night. Here's our site tonight, site number 33. Owen's in his hammock. I think it's pretty awesome. Got a pretty good setup here.
This is the stuff here.
Oh man, this stuff. Why haven't we used this before?
I don't know. Look at that. That's just an awesome setup. What do you think?
I love it.
Me too. Get out of my hammock. You look pretty happy, Mag. So tonight we're making our version of Philly cheesesteaks with chicken instead, some of the chicken I made last night. And we're going to add a little secret ingredient to even spice it up a little more. First thing that has to go on, red peppers and onions. We're going to put a little bit of water on here just to kind of moisten things up for the veggies. One of the pieces of the chicken we griddled last night, and we sliced those up. We're going to put them back here to get a little bit of love. One more fun ingredient. So if you watch Harry Potter, this is my version of butterbeer.
Hey, it is butterbeer, isn't it?
Colby Jack cheese is going in now. We're going to add a little sour cream.
Yum yum.
This is getting there. So I'm guessing the consistency you want is
You're guessing.
is somewhere right before scrambled eggs would start getting hard or not runny. That's kind of what we're going for here.
Okay.
We have one more ingredient to put in here.
He's putting a bunch in there. 2 tablespoons.
Yep. Now we're going to stir that up. We're going to grab this, move it over, get the chicken.
Whoa, wait a minute. You're putting the chicken in the cheese? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're going to mix it all together. No sense having to pour this over the sandwich.
Looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah, this is it right here. At this point, we're going to add a little salt and pepper. So now we need to put our veggies in there. And they're good and brown. Now let's just incorporate all this.
Toss, toss, toss.
Toss. Shake it all up. Time to mix.
Is it going to fall apart?
Maybe.
What do you think?
It's messy, but man, it's so good.
Is it?
What a simple meal. Simple but delicious. That's a Sam the cooking guy thing too. You have to, there's no sense peeling off the paper towel. You can just use it to wipe your mouth. What a great meal. Thanks for joining us around the griddle again tonight. Join us next time and we'll share another simple recipe with you that you can make when you're out enjoying your trip. We appreciate you being here. We're gonna eat. Can you?
Yum.
We wanted to find epic close to our home, and we did. And this night beats staying at home, doesn't it?
It does.
But we're
experiencing something totally different.
Yeah.
Once you've been to Alaska and seen the things that we've seen, all the wildlife and all the glaciers, and I mean, even traveling back through Oregon and Washington and going down the coast and going to Banff. I mean, it wasn't just the Alaska state, it was the whole experience. Your definition of epic changes. And I think a lot of it is the first time you see something, it's more epic than the second time you see it. But I don't know, epic changes all the time, I think. My definition of epic changes all the time. But today was epic in its own way. Talking around the campfire like we always do. So what are you going to do tomorrow?
get up and cook breakfast on the griddle.
You're going to cook breakfast. We don't
right.
usually eat a really big breakfast. Is it time to cook some breakfast?
Breakfast time. If you think back to griddles, breakfast, that's one of the things I think about. It started out with guys with little hats on and little drugstore diners, and you would go in and you'd get breakfast, and then eventually it became lunch and dinner, and now you go into a Waffle House and you watch the guy sitting back there doing all this stuff, and you're just amazed, and somehow it tastes better. We've never shown you breakfast on the griddle, so today we're going to do that. Sausage and eggs, but we're going to put a little twist to it. We're going to make sausage and egg quesadillas. And if you're from the South like us, well, then you've got to throw Jimmy Dean sausage down, because that's what we use. That word we like to use, incorporate.
Warming up the tortilla.
Yep. Put a little cheese down. You really only need about a third at the most of a roll of sausage to do this.
So we might have put too much on there.
Yeah, we definitely put too much. And you probably
I'll eat the rest of it.
What we don't eat, Maggie certainly will eat.
Well, we're not going to give her sausage.
We're not?
Nope.
Oh no, we have to be in the van with her. She'll toot like a trombone, won't she? So next we're going to put a little bit more cheese on here. We're using a Mexican blend, but you can use anything you like. The cheese on the bottom is melted already. Man, it's looking good. It's looking good. Now we got our other tortilla over here. We're going to press it down on there. Lynn was asking me before why I didn't put the goodness all the way to the edge. And this is why. When you put your second tortilla on, if you'll press it down and spread everything out, then you get it to the edge and it's going to stick to it. I'm going to turn the griddle off and let the last few minutes just be on the cast iron and let that keep it warm for a minute. And we're just going to cut through this. A little pretty cheese on top. Oh man. Breakfast of champions. I gotta go and get another. Man. What a breakfast. What a trip. You gotta leave home in order to try to find something epic and something fun. You're not gonna find it usually if you stay home.
Maggie gets to try just a little bit of the sausage and eggs. What do you think of Daddy's cooking? Yeah, hold your plate down. Some good stuff.
Rained out for a second day of hiking.
Well, it stopped raining just in time to make us have to make a decision.
Yep.
I think we should try to go on a long hike or not.
It'll be muddy, but
Yeah, it will be. I'll leave it up to you. Maggie, why don't you act like a pony and then we'll say we saw a pony. Can you do that?
so there's babies too.
Little babies. You can be a little baby pony. Go. With all the rain that's forecast today, we're going to miss seeing the ponies this trip and head home.
But there's always next time.
Last week we introduced you to our new member of our traveling family. So we introduced you to the trailer last week as we headed to Kings Mountain National Park, and we got a lot of questions about this little thing, so we thought we'd take a few minutes to answer those for you.
We've been doing a lot of research on what kind of trailer that would work for us, and we decided on the Sundowner Mini-Go. It's a 5x8 trailer that only weighs 775 pounds.
So I've had two other cargo trailers that I can remember, and the thing I've always hated about them is that you can get a lot of things in there, but the further up you get, that's typically the thing you're going to need the most, and it's so difficult to get up there. This trailer, it's a lot different, and we love this feature. Let me show you this. It has latches on the inside, and then you can lift it up, and you can go all the way to the inside of the trailer and get what you need and come right out with it.
So why did we buy a trailer?
Well, toys, toys, toys. We have too many of them, but the ones we have, we want to be able to take them with us when we travel. And that's one of the complications of having the van. The trailer solves that. So how did we land on getting a 5x8 Mini-Go?
Well, first we went and looked at all the trailers and their different sizes, and then we came back and we actually traced out a 4x6 and a 5x8 on our driveway.
And then we put the bikes inside of both of them as if it were a trailer, and decided that with our big bikes, we wouldn't be able to get a lot more in the trailer, which kind of defeats the purpose of it. So we ended up with this 5x8. So now we'll move on to a few pros and cons. First, the pros of having this trailer. The biggest one for you
is having a place to store our e-bikes.
You didn't even want the e-bikes.
I know. but now that we have them, I'd like to keep them nice, out of the elements,
and keep them safe.
And keep them safe, especially when we're in the campgrounds or while we're traveling down the road.
Is it provides enough room for us to be able to decide to take whatever toy or whatever camping accessory we want to take. It's only 4 feet high, and it allows for you to put a rack on top, which for us, instead of carrying a ladder or something else, we're going to put hard, lightweight kayaks up there.
So with everything, it's a give and take. So what do you think the biggest con is?
Well, many times in my life I've gone on a diet. And there have been times that I've lost 30 pounds, and I was really proud of that until I found 20 of them back. And it kind of feels that same way with the trailer. We went on a diet where we left the fifth wheel behind, and all of a sudden we were 25, maybe 30 feet shorter in length than we ever have been before, and we were really nimble. Now with the trailer, we seem to have found 12 feet of that 25 feet and put it back on. So it adds to our overall length, which in turn decreases how flexible we can be and how easily we can get in and out of some places. Can you think of anything else that it changes?
Well, it does add to our setup and our tear down time. So, are we going to leave our trailer at our campsite if we want to leave and drive somewhere else? And the answer to that is it depends. Like last week, we had the paddle boards in the trailer. So, of course, we took the trailer with us and went down to the lake and then unpacked the paddle boards. But if we don't need what's inside the trailer, we will leave it at the campsite. And it does provide extra security for our e-bikes and anything else that we want to keep in there.
So it wasn't so much a question as just a comment in last week's video. It was a question about the length. And by adding this length, we're now as long as a lot of Class Cs. And the comment was, now you have all the disadvantages of a Class C with none of the advantages. And you don't have the advantage of the B anymore. And we're not really sure how we feel about that yet. Only time will tell as to whether that's a true statement or not. So far, we've enjoyed having this trailer. But we'd be the first to tell you, when we went to get ice cream last week, we had to find a different parking space than we normally would have found. And it may be like that at other places. But it doesn't mean it's going to keep us from doing the things we want to do. And if it does, it won't go with us.
So I'd be interested in knowing how the trailer is going to work out. Well, so are we. Only, like Owen said, only time will tell. But we really, really think that it's going to add to our experiences.
So another question was, how has it impacted your experience with the van? Well, quite honestly, still got the same pep. Getting on the interstates is no different. Climbing mountains and hills is no different. Stopping is no different. The only thing we've really seen that's a different experience is so small that you can't see it out the mirrors, and you can't see it when you're backing up with the little stereo system backup camera that's inside the Travato. We're going to solve that. We're either going to get mirror extensions that we can fold out when we need to back up, or we're going to replace that little dinky little stereo with a Pioneer or something else that others have done that has a much better screen. And right now I'm leaning towards getting a much better screen.
We hope we answered all your questions. If you have more, leave them in the comments.
We'll end this week's video as we always do with a look at nature. We caught Maggie watching herself on the water and realized how much she loves being on the water. And if you didn't know it, she loves to fish. Here are a few clips of her doing that.
There's my pup dog. Come here. Come here. You like to fish, don't you, sweetheart? You see any fish, Maggie? Oh no. Hang on, stay right there. Don't get in. Damn it. Hey, stay, Maggie, stay. Dadgummit, girl. Wait a minute, wait a minute. There's my pup dog in the water already.